Hello, everyone. Welcome to our kindergarten information night. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm going to start by trying to make sure our technology works. I'm Carla Wilson, principal at Barrington Elementary, and then I also have Susan Casto, our assistant principal, with me. We couldn't be more thankful to have all of you on here. The number keeps rising, so we're about up to 60. We're going to give it just one more minute, and then we're going to share our screen. We have some slides to walk through with you and some videos that we want to share. But again, we know how busy everyone is, and we just couldn't be more grateful to have each of you on here. So we're just going to take 1 second and try to get our screen to share, and then we'll get started. All right, Susan, can you give me a thumbs up if that looks good to you?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for all of you for coming to our webinar tonight. I know that it would be much better in person, but we're going to have lots of opportunities to get together and get to know one another. We just cannot wait to welcome your little kindergartners next year. It's Susan and I always talk about it's like our favorite night to get to talk to our kindergarten parents and then to see their little faces walk through the door that first day is just magical. And we just couldn't be more grateful to each of you for entrusting us with your most precious little ones. So we're just going to go through some information. Susan and I will take turns talking, and then we will have some time for questions at the end. There is a little question button where you can add questions. You might want to wait until we've gotten through a lot of the information, because I would anticipate a lot of the things you might be wondering about we will cover throughout our presentation. But and I also just have some notes I'm going to check every once in a while. But again, we can't thank you enough. And we do promise to have some evenings and some events where you can get in and see our building for those of you who are new to Barrington, or this is your very first little one that's going to be attending our elementary school in August. So as I said, I'm Carla Wilson, principal here, and then Susan Casto is going to talk here in just a few minutes. We work together and do everything here together to lead this building. And then we do have Amy Byard, our media specialist, working behind the scenes tonight to make sure that we can get your questions and make sure the webinar is working correctly. Also, as your child enters into kindergarten, they're going to get to know so many staff members and just feel like they have this huge team of adults that care so much about them. So you'll get to know our counselor, our nurse, our music, art, and gym teachers, Amy Byard, our media specialist, and just so many more familiar faces that will be such an important part of your child's school experience while they're at Barrington. We are the Bobcats, so you're going to hear a lot about being a Barrington Bobcat here when your students start at Barrington. These are some pictures some of our Barrington students drew. You'll kind of see a few of those as we go here, but we can't wait to meet our newest Bobcats, who are also, if you can believe it, the Upper Arlington class of 2035. So it sounds like a faraway date, but honestly, as some of you know, it just flies by, and it's just amazing that how time just goes so fast. So we really just tonight want to make sure that you are starting to learn about the process, starting to get to know Barrington a little better, and to hear a little bit about our 2 delivery systems at Barrington. One of the most important things I know to Susan and myself and to our teachers is that you know that we are a partnership in your child's school experience. We're here to help every day from now until they graduate from Barrington in 6 years. We truly believe in both of our programs and at Barrington as a whole that education is a partnership, and that we can only be successful if we work together. So I know Susan and I talk about this daily. It's just really important to us that we have those relationships with our families, and that you feel comfortable and safe and happy to send your child to school each day, and that we know we can call you and say, "Hey, help us out. What would you do in this situation?" So we hope you feel that way. And if there's ever a minute that you don't, we want you to give us a call. Our agenda is kind of packed tonight. So we're going to go through just really quickly what our kindergarten program looks like. So as you know, we are excited that we have a full day. This year right now is our first year of full day kindergarten, and it has been so successful. We have just seen such a difference in allowing our students to kind of slow down and have that whole day to learn and grow and enjoy and play. So it's been really wonderful to watch. Susan's going to walk you through probably one of the most important parts of the evening, which is that registration process, just so you can know exactly what to do to get your child registered for kindergarten. I'm going to just talk for a minute about kindergarten screening. And then we have a video that our teachers have made to talk about the two programs, our UA Schools elementary program, referred to as Contemporary, which is our program that's offered at Greensview and Windermere in Tremont as well. And then about our alternative progressive informal program. And then we have just a quick little update on our PTO, which are so important to us, and then some time to answer some questions at the end. So I'm going to jump right in with our all-day kindergarten program. Again, we're just so fortunate that we have visionary leadership on our Board of Education. And this year we were able to launch our all-day kindergarten program. That we are excited because the program builds upon the high quality programming that we already had in the Upper Arlington schools and just allows us to give our kindergartners that really strong start, a slow down and be able to take our time and really help make sure that they feel solid as they begin their career at Barrington and in Upper Arlington. We feel strongly that our all-day kindergarten better is able to meet the needs of our developing learners so that they can grow academically, but also socially and emotionally, which we have found to be so important, especially as students' lives are a little different with COVID. And so it's been so important to have that time to help them adjust both socially and emotionally, as well as academically. The full day program provides time to develop student skills in the core academic areas, but also allows us to really focus on the whole child through our guidance program, through working with our media specialist, through just all of the things that we're able to offer at Barrington and in Upper Arlington. So just thinking about a kindergarten day, it's super busy. We can't wait for some of you to get in and see what kindergarten looks like. It has been so much fun. Susan and I walk through the kindergarten hallway throughout the day, and it's just so much fun to watch them in action. But really, if we're thinking about that kindergarten day, it's structured to support our youngest learners as they adjust to a full day. So there's a lot of breaks in the day, brain breaks, but also a really rigorous academic program. It is built around the learning blocks for the core content areas: math, reading, writing, science, and social studies. But we, as I said, we do take lots of times for play and brain breaks because we know that that's so important as students are coming into their first years of school. Students have lots of time to work with teachers individually and small groups and are able to reinforce that learning that's happening whole group in the classroom. Every week, students are able to have related arts blocks that where they rotate between music, art, and physical education. We have started a new program this year in Upper Arlington Elementary Schools called Elementary Explorations. Those of you that have students in the schools already know that our kids really love it. It's a way to engage our students as they explore cross-curricular content, allowing them to do project-based learning, but also allowing our staff to really dig deeply into data to better support our students. So it's just a really awesome program that we've been able to offer that benefits students in so many ways. Also, as you think about a kindergarten day, it is that exact same time block as we have for our first through fifth graders. So we start at 8:15 and go until 2:50 when we dismiss our students. So they do have that exact same time period as our older grades. Things that you might hear a lot about as your child is starting kindergarten, you're going to hear about morning meeting and how they talk about the morning message, and they do lots of activities to get to know each other and build community. You'll also hear about reading workshop that integrates our science and social studies content. So you'll hear about those big thematic units that our kindergartners get to explore, which they really do love. You're going to hear all about their brain and body breaks, so recess time, but also just smaller times throughout the day where they're taking those breaks. Um, the full day has really allowed us to explore and extend our math workshop time. So we've been really able to provide a lot more math instruction by going from a half a day to a full day. Lunch and recess is included in throughout our day, so they take multiple recesses, but then we do have that lunch block in the middle of the day. Quiet time and books, so there's lots of time for reading and learning all of those foundational pieces that help our students be the very best readers that they can be. Writing workshop is critical to our kindergarten, so you're going to see them start to put those sounds on paper and create stories. that are just, it's amazing what our kindergartners can do. And then also as part of that kindergarten day, every day they'll have either art, music, or physical education. And then bi-weekly, we include that elementary explorations time, which you'll learn more about as your student gets started. Just a couple of things I added that I wanted to just make sure that you're aware of, because they're so important to us at Barrington. Our goal this year, and that will continue as we move forward, is that we are really focused on strengthening our community so that every student, every staff member, and every family member feels safe and that they belong and that they're connected, connected throughout the building, connected in their classroom, and then that our families are connected to the school as well. And so you'll hear a lot about that as your child starts at Barrington, and just how that goal plays out and lives out every day in our school community. And so as part of that, we had a team of teachers come together and really think about, what does it mean to be a Bobcat? And so we came up with an acronym that we have been talking a lot about over this year, especially as we've kind of launched our new Bobcat beliefs. But we talk about being respectful, having an open mind and an open heart, being safe, caring for our community, accepting responsibility, and being trustworthy. So there's a lot of activities that we're doing. We had a Bobcat Day recently where we just did lots of activities to help our students really understand what it means to be a Bobcat. And so it's been a great addition to our already really strong behavior system that we had at Barrington. So you'll hear lots about that as we get started here. We also use a quiet signal that the B, the sign language B, is our quiet signal. So as you see our kids, as you're in Barrington, you'll see that a lot of that, the students walking through the halls with their quiet signal as they go. So just some things to think about. We really do work on the whole child and making sure we're growing academically, but also socially and emotionally. So I'm going to turn it over to Susan to talk about the registration process. Again, you don't need to take notes. This will all be available online. We're going to show you where to go after the webinar so that you can find all the links and things. And so please just know that it's not something you have to memorize, that we'll make sure we're sharing it again and again.
Hey, so hi, good evening, everyone. I have to apologize in advance. My voice is still not where it needs to be. I've been under the weather, so I'll power through these slides. So in terms of the registration process, our kindergarten registration window opens on Monday, February 7th for students that will be 5 years old by September 30th. The process begins on our website, and we encourage parents to register by March 8th. This allows us to just time to secure staff and to be better prepared to support our students. So there's a list of some things on this slide that you may need. You need to have those handy to upload when you go online to register. Next slide. So here at Barrington, we offer two types of instructional programs. It's the UA Schools Elementary Program, or you may have heard it referred to as the Contemporary Program. And we also have the Progressive or the Informal Program. And Carla's going to go into the difference between the two programs later on in the presentation. But for any families who are interested in having your child attend a building outside of the attendance area, such as Greensview, Tremont, Windermere, or Wycliffe Elementary, you'll need to register for those schools under what's called the open enrollment process. You would still register for your home building during the registration window, but you'll also need to apply for open enrollment between the window of February 15th to April 15th. Just something to keep in mind that under open enrollment, parents are responsible for transportation to school, and acceptance into another school does depend on enrollment numbers. And lastly, our first days of school in the fall are Tuesday, August 16th and Wednesday, August 17th. These are our getting to know you days as we transition back to school. You'll find out teacher placements and which day your child will attend, whether it be on August 16th or 17th. Those will be emailed to you in early August. So if you have any health concerns for your child, please contact our school nurse. His information is listed on our school website. And next, Carla's going to be talking about the kindergarten screening process, and which will be taking place on August 2nd and the 3rd.
Thank you, Susan. So just one of the pieces that we feel is really important as we're placing students into classrooms is that we're able to gather just some quick information just to help us create those really balanced classrooms. And so we do offer kindergarten screenings on August 2nd and August 3rd. So your student will come one of those 2 days. And so as we get a little closer, we'll ask you to sign up for a day and time, either August 2nd or August 3rd at a time that works. So again, we'll be in touch with you, so please don't worry about that, but just kind of have those dates in the back of your mind. If your child cannot attend on August 2nd or 3rd, it is not a problem at all. So please don't be worried about that if you have a vacation or something planned. We gather that information in a different way. And those screenings are conducted by some of our kindergarten teachers, also some teachers maybe in other grade levels, and some of our reading specialists. So just various adults at Barrington do conduct those screenings. And then, as Susan said, your placement, so that teacher name will be sent to you right after those 2 dates. We'll be sending out teacher name and then your start date. And really that goal, as I said, is to provide that academic, physical, social, emotional information to our team, but it's also used to collect that baseline data that helps just get us started at the beginning of the year. So what do we need to do to get our year started off on the right foot? And so we really do value those days, even though it's just a short little snippet of time. Oh, sorry about that. And so the next part is going to be a quick video. I'm going to just share this video with you. This was created by our teachers. I know that many of you will have questions even after you watch our video about our progressive informal, which we do use those terms interchangeably. Our progressive building of Wycliffe is very similar to Barrington, what we call Barrington Informal. So as we start to align those two names, we've really just been using both terms. The progressive informal program is our alternative program. And then our contemporary program is our UA Schools Elementary program that would be offered at Greensview or Windermere or Tremont. So I know those terms can be kind of confusing, but I'm going to show the video. And then I also want to make sure that you know that there's information on our website that will direct you to that has things that you can read about that will help you further explore the two programs. And then if you still have questions, I just want you to reach out to me and Susan. We are going to be able to answer those questions either through a phone call, a Zoom meeting, or even an in-person meeting if needed. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us after you've gone through all that information. If you still have some questions that you'd like us to answer, we will definitely be available to do that before the registration window closes in March. So I'm going to start this video. Just bear with me for one little second. I do want to caution you that the video we were planning to have in-person meetings. So the video is some clips of the old building, but the information is still very up to date. And then we're gonna work on it. Susan and I have it on our list of things to do to work on a new video for our website that is with the new building. As you know, your child will be entering into a beautiful, amazing new facility. We are so fortunate at Barrington Elementary to offer two instructional delivery systems. We are able to offer both the informal and contemporary programs. This allows us to meet the needs of individual students and families. We have many similarities and some differences between the two programs. Both the informal and the contemporary programs follow the same curriculum and assessment standards. Both programs integrate the arts to reinforce and extend the curriculum. Both programs provide intervention services as soon as children are identified and gifted services to identified students beginning in 3rd grade. Both programs share responsibility with parents for student learning and behavior. Teachers implement a consistent philosophy of teaching and learning based on 10 principles of progressive education to provide a consistent education as students progress from one grade level to the next. In the informal program, student placement varies by age and grade and may include multi-age classroom and/or looping configurations.
Barrington Kindergarten because it's fun to go there and it's also very I also like learning there too.
Students apply democratic processes and skills when problem solving, and instruction raises social consciousness through authentic experiences.
I like Barrington because we learn.
Using the standards, instruction is based on integrated long-term thematic units, emerging from students' needs and interest.
Student placement is in single grade classrooms, and students may experience a range of teaching styles as they progress from one grade to the next.
I like Barrington and I like my teachers.
There is diversity among the staff regarding the individual teacher's philosophy of teaching and learning based on current best practices in education. Planning for instruction begins with the curriculum and is flexible in order to integrate authentic and hands-on learning experiences. Focused attention is given to the needs and abilities common to students at a given grade level, while teachers respond to the specific learning needs of individual students through differentiated instruction.
I like Barrington because it has a playground.
No matter which of our two programs you choose to enroll your child in, he or she will be very successful. For more information about the informal and contemporary programs, please see the packets that are included in your information packet.
Kindergartners could not be more amazing and adorable. Every time I watch that video, I just can't help but smile. They're just so precious. So as you think about questions about our progressive, informal, or our UA Schools Elementary program, please do not hesitate to reach out, and also know that there's a lot of more detailed information online. Some of the things our teachers talked about really do highlight those differences, but also you're going to see so much similarity. And I always say to families, you cannot go wrong. We just have the most amazing teachers. And really it is about what you feel is the best fit for your family and for your child. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us with those questions. I do want to give you a quick overview of some of the resources and where to find those. So you're going to be able to get to this slideshow through our website. And if you are a current Barrington family, I've been sending out a lot of resources, but all of these are housed on our website and will help you kind of just really navigate through some of the pieces that Susan and I have been talking about. So if you go to our website, there's a section that talks about our Barrington Kindergarten program. And so this has all been updated and talks about our kindergarten information night, which is tonight, and then really reviews the registration timeline and links you to the kindergarten registration website. That's really what Susan was referring to. highlights the dates of February 7th is when we start, but there is no priority window like there used to be to get AM and PM. It's really just to help us for staffing. So you can register up until time to come to school, but we do just really hope that if you're able to register early, that really helps us think as we think about how much staff we need. There is some information and a video about our new facilities, which we're so very proud of, and we just thank our community. We could not be more fortunate to be able to work and learn in these amazing spaces. Some information about our school day, about our health office with links to our health page so that you can find all of that. Information about our attendance and district map, the calendars that we already have, and next year's calendar is already on there as you're planning trips and vacations and things. This is a little link to a booklet that talks about things that some of our kindergartners should be starting to do at home. And so you can just be thinking about, does my child already do that? Or is that something I might want to work on over the summer? Information about our SAC program, and then a link to our Barrington PTO, which is so important. So we just wanted you to have all that in kind of a one-stop shop, and that is on our website. And it's under this section called the Barrington Kindergarten Program. So it's really right here under About Us, you'll click on Barrington Kindergarten. And then under that same link, you can learn about the K-5 elementary program or the contemporary program, and then more information about our informal program at Barrington. And then the rest of these links are all other pieces that you might want to take a look at. So please, in the time that you have, just as you're thinking about this, just don't hesitate to get on and use the website, but then also to reach out with any further questions. And then finally, I just wanted to share just a little bit about our Barrington PTO. One of the things that I always tell parents and families and just anybody that I'm talking to when we talk about Barrington is that our PTO is hands down, I would say, the best in the state of Ohio. They are just so, and it's our families that are part of that PTO. We just feel so supported and so fortunate to have the resources that we have. It makes it possible to take the field trips that we take that many students don't get to go on those field trips. We're so fortunate to bring in speakers, to just do some of the programming that we definitely feel like is above and beyond, and we're so excited about. So thank you to our PTO. Our current board, PTO board, is presidents Aubrey Jones and Courtney Neckers. They're our current PTO presidents. But then next year, as your little ones enter kindergarten, Matthew Coltrip and Aparna Dayal will be our PTO presidents. And then Meredith Pyers is this year's secretary. Melanie Carroll is our treasurer this year. And then Mike Easterday will be the treasurer next year. But again, I can't say enough about our PTO. And I just wanted to share another quick little video that our children put together about our Barrington PTO. And it does show just some highlights of our new building. So I think it's really just fun to see this quickly. And then we'll jump into a few questions and then we'll get you out of here because we know you have a lot going on. So.
PTO, but I'm not sure what it is. Well, I think I know. I think Barrington PTO is a group of Barrington parents and teachers that help with fundraisers and stuff like that for our school. That's cool. Let's see if we can find out more. Sure, I think they helped at the library. Let's go find out. Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We were talking a little bit about Barrington PTO, and we were wondering how they help you find out in the library.
Oh, wow. They've helped us out in the library an awful lot. So they help us run the book fair every year, which gets money to help us buy more books for the library. And another way, a very important way that they help us out is by sponsoring our author visits. You know how we've had lots of great authors visit, like Matt Barnett, and those are great, aren't they? And Troy Cummings last year. And so sometimes we write a grant with UAEF, and then PTO helps us with that grant to get an author, because author visits are very expensive. And then some years we don't have to write a grant, and then PTO is able to fund that author to come visit us that way too. So that's a big help to us, so we can keep great authors coming to Barrington.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's cool. Our new library is really cool. Yeah. Let's see what else PTO helped out with. I'm pretty sure they helped out with the gym. Let's go and see if we can find any evidence. love our new building and the way there's neighborhoods in it, like
Me
school
too.
neighborhoods.
What's your favorite part about the new building?
Well, I really like the new library in the neighborhoods. I think it's cool. There's garage doors in between the new school, so like you can open it to like be with other classes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Good evening, kindergarten families, and welcome to Barrington. Just wanted to take a quick minute to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Hill, and I'm one of the PE teachers here at Barrington Elementary, and tell you a few ways where PTO has helped the gymnasium run more smoothly and give the kids more opportunities. One thing that the PTO has done for us is purchase this awesome climbing wall. The kids love using this wall each and every time we have Winter Wonderland and during some of our boot camps. The PTO has also purchased a variety of equipment for us to use in the gym, including some awesome basketballs, which I just used during one of my units that I taught here. And they've also made it possible for intramurals to be ran during the school year. Thanks, and looking forward to having your child next year in kindergarten.
You guys were at Clown Around, right?
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Clown Around is a family day for all Barrington students with a bunch of fun activities.
Cool, thanks. What's your favorite part, Chet?
My favorite part is the hair dye station.
Oh, what about you, Elise?
Mine's probably winning all of the prizes after playing fun games.
Cool, thanks. Barrington PTO also has lots of other fun fundraisers.
Let's see what Cole has to say about some fun fundraisers he's been to. I like the fundraiser when we have Dewey's fundraiser, and it helps the school earn money. That's what I like about PTO.
I'm in Mrs. Say's class, and what I like about school is we read the best books.
My name is Noah, and I love kindergarten because I get to see my friends and play on the kindergarten playground.
I like kindergarten because I like how we make new friends. Even if we don't know some people, you could just say, "Can you be my friend?" And you have so many friends that you don't need anymore.
It doesn't get better than that. So they love to make their new friends. So once again, we just cannot thank you for coming tonight. We can't thank you enough for coming and learning about Barrington and about our program. We do want to take just a few minutes to answer some questions. So I'm going to stop sharing and just see if we have any questions. But again, we're going to have all this on the website. We'll make sure that everyone has access to every thing you need to register your little one that's coming to Barrington. And again, I can't say it enough, we're here to help. So just anything that you're thinking about or worrying about, please don't hesitate to reach out. And we just can't wait to meet your little ones here in the very near future. We hope to plan some activities and events to get you into the building. But I'm going to stop sharing and see if we have any questions. Susan, do you want to let us know if there's any questions that you were seeing?
Sure. We have a question about around when do students arrive to school in the morning?
Oh, sorry, great question. So our school day actually starts at 8:15, but students can begin to come to Barrington right at 8 o'clock. We have adult supervision. So anytime between 8 and 8:15, you'll kind of see that trickle in. And we do have those adults here to help support that. So we will be sending out loads of information. You'll probably be wishing that you weren't getting so much information from Susan and me, but we will send a lot more detailed information out as we get a little closer to the start. But 8 o'clock is when we get started, and then 2:50 is when that dismissal bell rings.
Okay. We had a question about whether the school offers lunch and do parents need to order?
Great question. So this year, as some of you may or may not know, there is a federal program, a federal waiver due to COVID. So every student is offered a lunch. at no charge. I'm not certain if that will continue into next school year, but we always sell lunches that you can purchase in the cafeteria. There's a menu online that we'll make sure you have access to that. You can go on the website and even look at any time under nutritional services, but students can purchase a lunch. They can bring a lunch in a lunchbox, whatever works best for your family. And there is not a pre-ordering system. So students will order their lunches in the morning, but it'd be something really important, especially for kindergarten, to kind of talk with them about in the evening, what choice would you like to have? And then the teacher does that again in the morning.
Okay. We have a question about the size of the incoming kindergarten class and just general class sizes.
Okay, great. I can't necessarily answer the question for the incoming class, our class of 2035, as I just don't know how many families will decide to register, but I can give you a general idea. Typically, we have truly this number has kind of held steady. This is my 9th year at Barrington as the administrator. And we've typically had around 112 to 120 students. It feels like it's kind of in between there. This year, our class sizes are just at a wonderful size, anywhere between 18 and 20 students in the kindergarten classrooms. And then there are other adults throughout the kindergarten supporting. That number can kind of vary, but it's been pretty steady over my time at Barrington, where we see about those same class sizes and that same number for enrollment, but with some shifts here and there as we go throughout the school years.
Okay. We have a question about the kind of a breakdown or percentage of students in the contemporary versus the informal program.
So that number, just like I just said, kind of fluctuates as we get students enrolling. But right now, we're pretty equal in our two programs, with the UA Schools Contemporary program being a little larger than the alternative program. That number has kind of fluctuated over the years, but right now we're pretty balanced. We do have a few more classrooms on the informal, or excuse me, on the contemporary UA Schools part of our building. But for kindergarten this school year, as we're sitting right now, 2021, 2022, we have 3 informal progressive teachers in kindergarten, and we have 4 UA Schools contemporary teachers. But typically it's pretty even in kindergarten. This year we just had that bubble with more students than we've usually had in the past enroll.
Okay. There was a question about any tuition costs for attending full day kindergarten.
We are so fortunate. That is a fabulous question. I'm so sorry I didn't answer that in my presentation. I'll know that for next year. There is no cost in Upper Arlington. That the full day is the program that we have, and so it's free to all families. So again, there's no tuition cost, and we're just so excited that we can offer that for our families.
We have a question about our SAC aftercare program.
Sure. So is there a specific question, Susan, or
just sharing additional information about it?
Okay. SAC is our after school program, which runs at Barrington from the end of the day until 6 p.m. I will tell you that over the past years, we've had quite a big wait list. So there is a separate piece of information on our website about SAC. It talks about the registration window, any information you're going to need to have, and that's linked in that kindergarten section as well. So you'll find that in many parts of our website, but it is a wait list typically for Barrington. And that runs through a separate program. Susan and I are not administrators of the SAC program, but we can absolutely connect you. If you have a specific question, if you want to email us, we can connect you with the right people at SAC.
Okay. We have a question about just confirmation about the contemporary and progressive informal options at Barrington and other elementary schools. How we talked about, we have both the informal and contemporary programs at Barrington, but talking about the other school options in the district.
Sure. So Barrington is the one, it's unique because we're the one building that is south of Lane Avenue. And so we offer both of the programs within one building. So kind of like what we call a school within a school. Any families that live north of Lane Avenue the home schools would be Tremont, Windermere, and Greensview, with Wycliffe being the progressive informal option for the alternative school. And so if you're interested in learning more about the other buildings, absolutely feel free to join their kindergarten information nights or to reach out to their principals. But we are fortunate that we can offer both programs within this one big building here at Barrington.
We have a question about explorations. How often do our kindergarten classes have exploration? And is it part of their regular curriculum, or does it occur after school?
Oh, great question. So again, like, I wish I could think of all these things. These are wonderful questions. So as we think about what we call the multi-tiered systems of support, that is our framework for supporting students on all ends of the academic and behavioral spectrum. So as we think about students that need challenge or think about students that need intervention, elementary explorations allows two things to happen. One, students to have that really rich experience during the school day. So it's every 2 weeks that students have a team of educators from Upper Arlington come into their classrooms and provide these really amazing experiences, STEM experiences, hands-on connections to the music, art, and sciences. And so they're doing that during the school day while our classroom teachers are working to look at data and to plan together to find ways to best support our students. So it's a benefit to students in multiple ways, as it allows our classroom teachers to do some work, but also allows this really rich experience for our students that is offered every other week during the school day. And that's a 75-minute block, because they're often doing hands-on projects that take a lot of time to complete. So, and we're excited to share more information with our families as we start school next year about what that's going to look like, and to provide you with their topics each week, or every other week.
We have a few questions from parents that are maybe in the process of considering whether to send their child on to kindergarten, or maybe whether to repeat another year of preschool. So what are some resources that they could take a look at, or maybe who are some people that they could talk to?
Great question. So I would first encourage you, if your child is in preschool, to really reach out to the preschool and really get some information from those preschool teachers to say, what do you think? And really, they're just going to give you their educated opinion. And so then I would also consider reaching out to myself or to Susan. We're happy to share any information that we have with you. At the end of the day, we'll ask that you make that final decision as a parent, but we are happy to weigh in and share data with you about, the number of kids that start that are those summer birthdays especially. And then also there is a link on our kindergarten part of our Barrington website that does talk about, it's kind of like a little booklet about some skills that most kindergartners typically have as they enter into kindergarten. And so that might just give you an overview as a parent. These are some things that my child might be asked to do, and you can kind of think about, are they ready or not for that? But we are happy to be a resource to you if you just want to email one of us, and we're happy to kind of talk through that with you individually. But also, I always recommend talking to the preschool teachers, as they probably know your child best right now, academically and socially and emotionally.
Okay, we have a question about whether we have separate staff for both modes of teaching, the contemporary versus the progressive.
It's a great, these are some of the best questions I've ever received. So, yes, so our UA schools contemporary teachers are a separate set of teachers from the progressive informal teachers. So the classroom teacher, so that would be your child's primary teacher, would be in one of the two programs. And so our teachers don't switch back and forth. For the most part, we have a set of teachers that really believe strongly in what they're doing. Though we do have our art, our music, our PE, our gifted, our intervention teachers, those teachers serve both of our programs. So they're going to cross programs and serve students together. So for example, in third grade, we do have a gifted mathematics group of students that go to a class with our teacher, Jane Ryer. She serves both programs, so either program would have access to that gifted service. But your child's primary teacher would be in one of the two programs. And we do a lot of work together as a staff, both programs together. We work so collaboratively together. But then there are times when Susan and I might meet with the progressive teachers to talk about something specific to their program, or the contemporary teachers to do something specific with them. But we do a lot of work together as a whole building as well.
We have a question about how we handle students that have food allergies.
Oh, great question. And we've done a lot of work in our building and have been very successful with working with students and families that have a child with food allergies. So we would want you to reach out, just as soon as you are ready to, and we will work closely with our school nurse and with our families to make sure we have a plan in place. So we're very careful within the classroom of not having any allergens come into the classroom. We work with you to figure out what's best for your child for the lunch hour and for any snacks or any other foods that we might have in the school. So we are very experienced with food allergies, and we'll want to work very, very closely with our families that have a child who has food allergies. So please reach out to Susan or me or to our school nurse to get that started just as soon as you feel like you're ready to do that.
We have several questions about if families choose the contemporary versus informal, can they switch if they feel like it's not a good fit for their child?
That's a great question too. And there is some information on our website about this, but again, such a great question. So we do ask that families choose a program as they enter their child into kindergarten. And for the most part, we don't have a lot of families, in my experience at Barrington, which I've been here quite some time, that want to switch back and forth between the two programs. However, if that was something that came up and you felt strongly that your child would maybe be better in the other program, we would work closely with you. There is an open enrollment process, because that is how we choose that is how we determine staffing. So the number of teachers needed based on the enrollment in the program. And so we do have families use the open enrollment process, even though you're already in Barrington attendance area. So in order to switch, we do use that process. However, Susan and I would work very closely with any family that had those concerns. So it's never a closed door, but definitely there's a process that we would follow to make those decisions collaboratively with our families.
Let's see, there's a question about what happens if there's too many students registered for either program. Is it first come, first serve?
Great question too, Susan. We honor every family's choice for their child as far as programs. So we would have that's why we ask that if you're able to register your child before that window closes in March, it just helps us tremendously to plan our staffing for the following year. And so there is no closing of the programs. We do have that kindergarten enrollment period, and that we really honor every family's choice of program. But that is why once students are in the program, that we follow a process to switch students, because our staffing numbers are based on the numbers of students that would be going to that next grade level. And so whatever program you choose, we will honor. And then again, like I stated before, if there's a concern or a parent that would like to discuss switching programs, we would follow a process collaboratively with you for that.
We have another question related to the two programs. What interactions do students have with one another across those two programs?
Again, gosh, great questions, everybody. I like wanting to look on here. Which parents do I know that are on here? These are such good questions. And I do see some familiar names, by the way. The question was a great question. We do try very hard to cross our two programs. We've actually been more, even in my time here as the principal, we have been more intentional about doing that. And so we've had some things that we've done to cross the two programs together. One thing that is very natural is a lot of recess time allows the students to play together and to see their friends from the other program. We also, anytime we do something that's grade level specific, we try to bring the two programs together to do specific things. Our teachers work very collaboratively together. So for example, I'll use fifth grade as an example. Our fifth grade teachers work really closely together, even though they have kids in their specific program. They do a lot of collaborative planning. Same for all of our grade levels to make sure that we all use the same curriculum. It's really just the delivery style of the curriculum that looks different at the two programs. And then also, as you think about in the video, it talked about how we structure the grade levels. So for example, in our alternative program, you'll see that we have a 1-2 multi-age. So first and second graders in the same classroom together. Whereas in our UA Schools contemporary program, first grade is its own separate grade, second grade is its own separate grade. But we try really hard to integrate the two programs. Our PTO programming is always aimed at reaching all students and making sure that we're doing having experiences that meet both of our two programs.
We had a question about SAC. What is the wait list timing, and can families sign up before the window for kindergarten opens up?
I am going to have to say, I try to never say I don't know, but I am not 100% sure, but because SAC is its own kind of separate group, but definitely we can get you those answers. Anne Sidesinger is the director of SAC, and her information is on our website. And so I would direct you to Anne just to get any specific questions answered about SAC. I don't want to give any inaccurate information, but we would definitely help you get those answers if needed.
Okay, we have a question about whether we can share any quick information about the gifted program, or whether this information can be found online.
Great question. We have a specific part of our website, and again, reach out to me and I can link you there maybe a little faster than you can find it on your own. But there is a gifted services handbook that has just a wealth of information about how your child can qualify for gifted, what those criteria are, what the programming looks like in Upper Arlington. Our gifted programming does start in grade 3. We start with mathematics in grade 3 as it's a pull-out service. So I would direct you to that little booklet that we have online. But if you have any trouble finding that, please just let me know. It's under our student services section of our website.
Okay, we have a question about what grades does the contemporary progressive programs continue through?
Oh, good. Another great question. So our UA schools, which we call contemporary, I know those names are very confusing to our families, is our program that we offer throughout your child's school experience. That's kind of the typical UA Schools program. The alternative program we offer in the elementary school, so K-5 is what our informal progressive program goes to. And then there is a program at the high school that is not called progressive or informal, but it's called the UA Community School. So that is something that's offered again in high school. But our progressive informal program does stop at grade 5. So we go through the elementary experience.
We have a question about just clarification on which grades are together in the informal program.
Great question. So kindergarten is its own grade level, and then first and second grade are together as a multi-age, so a mix of first and second graders in one single classroom. And then at third and fourth grade, we have what we call a loop. So those third graders stay together, but they go to fourth grade together. Same teacher, same group of students. And then fifth grade is a standalone grade. So the two on the ends, K and 5, are standalone, and then the first and second, and then third and fourth. And again, all of that information is detailed out on our website. So please, if you have a moment to just read a little bit more, that might help. But again, reach out to us with any specific questions for your family.
Okay, and we have one last question about how many recesses are there per day for kindergartners?
That's a great question. Recess, and everybody kind of is all over the spectrum on this, but we feel strongly at Barrington, our teachers and our staff feels very strongly in the importance of play and in the importance of those brain breaks and of the social emotional problem solving that happens on recess. So our kindergartners do have 3 recesses. So a short morning recess, just to really break up that long morning, and then a lunch hour recess, and then another short afternoon recess. And those are the recesses that are typically outside and a scheduled recess. And then they do play workshop, which is more of a structured play where we have, once you come into the building, you'll see we have the play, the kitchens, and we have the puppet show stages. We have the sand table and all of those pieces that we feel strongly are very important to a full day kindergarten program. And so the teachers are structuring that play where they work on a skill, and then kids are really practicing as they play. It's just it's like the most wonderful Susan and I love walking through the kindergarten neighborhood when they're having that play workshop, because it's just so much fun to watch them talking and problem solving and playing and having such a great time.
We've got one more. What is recess like if there is bad weather?
Oh gosh, we just come over to Divot today. And I'll see. We do, so anytime the wind chill is below 20. So whenever you look at that weather channel, you see that feels like anytime that's below 20, we do have an inside recess. And so we try really hard to have activities that kids are very much engaged in. So Legos and magnets, and there is a lot of artwork happening right now, and problem solving type play activities, games and things that are happening in the classrooms. But we try to get out as much as possible. It's been just a little tricky with the weather here these past couple weeks with the snow and the ice and then the really cold temperatures, but we do try as much as we can to be outside. But when we can't, we do those same scheduled recesses within the building.
I think that's it.
Oh my gosh, I was watching to see who was kind of falling off, like, goodbye, Carla, stop talking. But it was so wonderful to see all these names and to see people that are coming back and sending us another little kindergartner this year. But I just can't stress enough that we're here for you. We're just so excited to welcome your little kindergartner next year. And that, again, you can't go wrong. Our two programs are both fantastic. You're going to be thrilled, I know, with your choice. And if you're not, that's what we're here for, is to problem solve with you. So it's been so much fun to be on here, even though we can't be in person. But we are going to be reaching out in the very near future with more information. And so just be watching for things from Susan and me to come here in the upcoming months. But have a wonderful rest of the week, and just reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.